off with the EQ cut around 30 Hertz. Maybe scoop that up further. Let's hear what that sounds like. So I like that. It's right around 55 Hertz. And you can use the spectral analyzer on your EQs to identify any boosts. Like here it's a little woofy around 200, and around 100 there's some boosts. Just sort of naturally. So maybe we could cut around 200, just like 1 or 2 dB. That's without cut on 200. And that's with a little bit of cut on 200. Okay, so I also kind of like certain frequencies. Usually around like 1 kilohertz or 1.4 kilohertz. It's just going to give more crispiness in the picking attack. So I'm going to boost those. And since this is a Shure Beta 58, let's go ahead and add a little bit of high-end treble around 12 kilohertz. Yeah, so the Shure Beta 58 microphone has sort of like a roll-off. So let's just boost some highs. I wouldn't go past 3 dB of boost, because later on when you master it, it's going to bring all those high frequencies out. So try to be a little bit subtle with the high frequency boosting. And it seems like our signal's pretty good there. Let's go ahead and move on to noise gate, which we don't really need, because you can see here that the waveform is just constant. I've already trimmed it, but I'm going to add noise gate anyway. And it's pretty much going to stay on most of the time. So I just leave that on. Okay, tube compressor. Cubase has different compressors, which are really cool. There's a standard compressor, a tube compressor, and vintage. I like tube compressor because it adds a little bit of punchiness to it, and it just sounds good. The vintage compressor is really good for smoothing things out, but you can kind of hear it working. And then the standard compressor is really good for all around kind of stuff, but I think the tube compressor has more character, and it has this drive control and also character here, which is interesting. I'm going to use a low ratio, so it's kind of subtle. I really like this drive control because it kind of gets it a little bit crunchy. attack and release, you want to give it an attack around 15 milliseconds to 30 milliseconds, just so that the first initial attack of the pick kind of pops out. So fast release and a little bit of a slow attack for acoustic guitar I kind of like. And it's clipping just a little bit, so I'm going to bring that down like a dB. Okay, so the next thing is EQ. I already have like some tone shaping EQ. You don't have to use this, but I'm going to use it just to sort of enhance things that I like. Is a De-esser. So this is a really good trick for guitars, because with de-essing, normally you use it for voice to reduce the harsh frequencies of a voice. But I'm actually going to bring the frequencies down to around 110 Hertz to 300 Hertz to squash down on those low mids of the acoustic. Sparingly. The last thing I want to do is just add a little bit of tape saturation. Cubase also has magneto and tube saturation. Try those, see what they sound like. It's nice to have different flavors of saturation. I'm going to go with magneto, which is a tape saturation, basically. Just a little bit so it sounds kind of vintage. And then lastly, some maximizer. So that's pretty much how I would treat acoustic guitars, and then obviously you could use your fader and add a reverb if you want. I'm going to keep it kind of crispy because I just want it to be like really kind of close for this particular song. I would start with my fader probably around -10 dBs and then go up to 0 if you want to have like unity gain, like super strong. Or maybe a little bit less, but I'm going to start around -10 and kind of work my way around there. And everything, you know, kind of start all your faders around -10, keep the master at unity gain, so it's like super punchy. This is good because you have at least 6 dBs of headroom. So that's pretty much how I would treat acoustic guitars in this case. Every session is different, and you basically just want to use your ears and kind of, you know, mess around and adjust your guitars how you like. But that's how I would treat guitars. Cut the lows and then boost a little bit of, you know, 12 to 14 kilohertz, and also upper frequencies, and this de-essing trick is really key to controlling the low mid frequencies, so you don't get boominess. But it still preserves the pick attack of the treble, and there's still some low frequencies there, kind of just, you know, supporting everything else. And that's my few little tricks on how to do acoustic guitar. This also works with electric guitar. If you're doing like palm mutes, this de-essing trick is excellent for controlling palm mutes. So check that out.